when they kept saying to Walz, your law, your state, you don't allow babies from botched abortions to die, do you? He said, absolutely not. Vance said, I read the law. Yes, you do. Well, it's too long. You must not understand what you're talking about. While that was going on, I went on my iPhone, I looked it up. There was a specific statute that he signed that repealed the requirement that you do, in fact, have to take care that the child survives or whatever the health needs are. He repealed it. Margaret Brennan, she is a nasty lady. And Nora O'Donnell is nasty too. Dumb as a doorknob. But it was just grotesque. They pushed the entire left-wing agenda. Now, maybe I'm the only one, but about 2/3 through, I actually was starting to get bored. Because Tampon Tim was so underperforming. Vance had already pretty much mopped the floor with him. And I thought, okay, what's left? But it was good. Now, if you've read Vance's book, which I have not, but my wife did, she would be reading paragraphs from one chapter to another out loud to me last month. And I said, wow, this is amazing. She said, this guy's unbelievable. I don't know that anybody's ever grown up poorer than he did. I mean, it was poor. Appalachia, poor. They went without meals. They went without, it was unbelievable. And the family was broken and dysfunctional. And yet, look at this young man. Look at this guy. He never was a big problem to his family. 9/11 hits, he joins the Marines. He schools himself, then he goes to school. He winds up at Yale, starts a small business. And so they keep pointing at him. He didn't wind up in building, you know, he's for billionaires. Excuse me, you slob, you joke of a pathetic vice presidential candidate. That would be Tampon Tim. You don't hold a finger to this guy. You and your sicko, perverted ideas, your pathological lying. I was there in China during Tiananmen Square. Excuse me. You were there in the fall. That happened in the summer. Well, you know, I'm a knucklehead. No, you're a liar. You lied about football. You lied about the National Guard. This is what you do. You're a liar. But I think the mask came off. No thanks to the phony moderators. And let me just say, my bugaboo here, will Republican candidates stop agreeing to debates that are moderated by this media that hate their guts? Will they please stop? Either come up with another form or don't do it. Now let me just give you, and you probably saw it yourselves, but just to underscore it, one of so many examples that can be given. They're pushing the left-wing agenda. And January 6th, they spent more time on January 6th than any other subject. They never got to the economy, that is the union. They never got to the hurricane problems, that is the failure of this administration, and the fact that she was, you know, flying high on the West Coast with her billionaire and millionaire buddies for 4 days. They never got to any of these things. And January 6th, one of the things I do wish Vance had said is, wait a minute, it was Donald Trump that offered 10,000 National Guardsmen. It was Nancy Pelosi who turned it down. Would have been a nice answer. You can't be perfect when you're up there. You got a lot going on. But January 6th, we need to have an answer to that. And I have an answer to that. But let's go on. Let's take a look at this, just this brief moment. These CBS moderators. Go.
Just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants.
So stop right there. They're not supposed to be doing any fact-checking. This one in particular is a grotesque, arrogant, sanctimonious pea-brain. Go ahead.
Who have legal status. Right. Temporary protected status.
Well, Margaret, but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important because
we're going to turn out of the economy. Thank you.
Margaret, the rules were that you guys weren't going to fact check, and since you're fact checking me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on. So there's an application called the CBP One app, where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole, and be granted legal status at the wave of a Kamala Harris open border wand. That is not a person coming in, applying for a green card and waiting for 10 years. That is the facilitation of illegal immigration, Margaret, by our own leadership.
Thank you, Senator, for describing the legal process. We have so much to get to, Senator.
Those laws have been on the books since 1990.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The
we want to have...
CBP app has not been on the books since 1990. It's something that Kamala Harris created, Margaret.
Gentlemen, the audience can't hear you because your mics are cut. We have so much we want to get to. Thank you for explaining the legal...
Well, why don't you get to the stuff accurately? He's 100% right. Harris-Biden concocted this process. It's not a statutory process to get people on the way into our country on the path to citizenship quickly. So when she says, I just want to tell you that most of those Haitians are there illegally. No, they're not. And he's explaining it. And the idiot, Walz, says, that's been on the books since 1990. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. It doesn't matter. He throws stuff against the wall and so forth. This is not on any book. This is one of the things the Harris-Biden administration did. And so Vance is knowledgeable about this. My wife is too. She happened to work in this area, and she said he's 100% correct. I don't know what that's all about. But she fact-checks him, which she's not supposed to do under their own rules, and she's wrong. And there were other occasions for this. When they kept saying to Walz, for instance, your law, your state, you don't allow babies from botched abortions to die, do you? He said, absolutely not. Vance said, I read the law. Yes, you do. Well, it's too long. You must not understand what you're talking about. While that was going on, I went on my iPhone, I looked it up. There was a specific statute that he signed that repealed the requirement that you do, in fact, have to take care that the child survives or whatever the health needs are. Once birth is given, whether it's a botched abortion or anything else, he repealed it. So he lies, and Brennan pushes it to try and make Vance look like a fool when Vance is 100% correct. I posted it. I sent it to all my Fox colleagues. I said, wait a minute, here it is. Unbelievable. Well, our friends at Sky News Australia, they took a look at this too, because in the end, Walz couldn't hide a few things. Number one, he's a weirdo. Shaking, moving. You put a raincoat on this guy and stick him on the corner with a pack of cigarettes, that's a dangerous man. That's number one. Number two, he got stuck on one thing that's so simple. When Brennan said, you know, you did say you were in China or Hong Kong during Tiananmen Square, but actually you were there in the fall and that happened in the summer. Well, sometimes I misspeak. Excuse me. Tiananmen Square? You don't know if you were there or not? You misspoke? Like when you were deployed to Iraq, but you didn't go? You misspoke? When you had honor coins made of your service in Iraq, when you have no service in Iraq? When you put out that you were the winning coach of some division in either Nebraska or Minnesota, when you were the assistant defense coach? Folks, I learned a long time ago, when you lie about little things, you lie about everything.
For all this and much more, sign up for Levin TV.